a disco. Take a seat on your gym, said Miss Trix. I have a note to hand out before you go home. Pam was the first to get her note and began to read to her pals. Witch and Monster Disco this Thursday at 5 o'clock. Wear your best monster or witch costume. To win a prize, there will be disco dancing and yummy food for sale. The disco will be held next to the truck shop. A disco, cried out Pam. Not just a disco, said Gus. It's a dress-up disco. Not just a dress-up disco, said Vincent. It's a dress-up disco with yummy food. I have the perfect costume, said Pat. This will be loads and loads of fun. As soon as Pam got home, she hunted in her dress-up box for the perfect costume. She found wig caps, belts, and fancy pants as well as high heels, coats and neckties. She kept digging until she found exactly the thing she was looking for. She lay out her costume on the armchair to see if she had everything that she needed. She had a pointy black hat and sparkly black dress and a straw broomstick. She had everything she needed to be a wicked witch at the disco. Gus did not have to look for his costume. He had been given a great monster costume for his birthday. He wore it around his backyard at the weekends and was keen to show his pals and try to scare them. Vincent had to peel with his mom to take him to the discount store to get claws and horns to complete his wild monster costume. Pat had a costume that he named his Inside Out costume and was
Eager. Yeah.
To show it to his pals. He was hoping to scare a few of his pals too. The space next to the truck shop had been decorated with streams, hanging bats, spider webs, and things to make it look dark and creepy. Pat in his insider costume, showing at the inside of his body, and meet up with Vincent. He's in his wild monster costume. "Check out my bones," said Pat. "They glow in the dark." "Check out my claws," said Vincent. "They are sharpest in the land." Soon Gus arrived in his green monster costume. He ran up behind at Vincent and gave them a big fright. Pam arrived peeping to ride her broomstick, and she had a bag of tricks and spells. The monsters and witches began dancing, and the DJ was happy to take song requests from the crowd. Gus, Vincent, Pam, and Pat spent a long time dancing and singing before they sat to have a fizzy drink and packet of chips. As they sat and chatted, the lights on the stage went really dim. There was a spotlight shining on the stage next to the DJ. All the monsters and witches froze and stared. The DJ began to play a song with creepy beats when all of a sudden a cracking black witch came into sight under the spotlight. The witch had long black dress, just like Pam, but without the sparkly bits. Her pointy hat was black with gold rim, and she had socks to match. The monsters and witches stood still to stare as she kept cackling while the song was playing. When the song ended, the witch came down off the stage into the crowd closer to them. Vincent even had hid behind Gus. She was carrying a green statue. All of a sudden, the witch shook the statues, and loads of tiny black spiders fell on top of the monsters and witches in the crowd. Mystics, the monsters and witches took a step closer. "Mystics, it's you," said Vincent in relief. "You gave us quite a fright in that costume. We didn't expect you to be at the disco like that," Pam said. Mistress lifted her of her pointy to show the monsters and witches that it was really her. As the monsters and witches surrounded Mistrix to check out her costume, the DJ began to play a very cool, unbeatable song. Gus, Vincent, Pat, and Pam started their spooky, creepy dance. Mistrix saw them shuffling to the left and to the right. Then they started twisting, turning, and shaking. She decided to join in. Well, Mistrix cried out, "Pam, you are a groovy dancer." Vincent and Pat were still a bit of shock. The Mistrix had arrived at the disco in a witch costume. Now they were more surprised that she was dancing to such an unbeatable song. Do a bit of dancing with him. Mistrix gave him a big smile, took his hand, and began to spin. Very soon, lots of monsters and witches started lining up to have a turn at dancing with Mistrix. She was the queen of the disco.